そも勝利とは何か。
Solemn's move and proud man's voice echoed around his throne.
敵を打ち倒す。己の強打を克服する。望む未来へと達するため、最良と思える道を選択して実行する。勝利とはそれか。好ましい未来を得ることか。ならばケイラ、一体何を求めている？
Free?
答えよ。ケイラにとって勝利とは何か。
The answers of the three kneeling before him were instant. By consuming Shambhala, Williamsburg appeared in the world with great certainty in its firmness. All it would do from that point on was burst, overflow, emanate, and expand with no limit. Thus his question was like a method of encouragement for battle. He was looking the cravings driving his burial guard, the battalion commanders rallying large amounts of his host, making up the castle. What did they seek? What did they hope to win?
勝利とは高みに尊く輝くもの。
To the better it was the light she sought.
勝利とは走り抜けた後で振り返るもの。
To the better it was the results he left behind. Results? Sorry, but what he always is leaving behind is definitely not the results. I mean, come on. Who would call that results? He's only good at, destroying things.
勝利とはたどり着いた極点を指すもの。
And to the grade it was the absolute end. Of course, none of those was better or more right than the other. However, if there was an outlook that most could easily relate to, it would likely be Rubeda's. Harun meant victory, and as one who saw it as something sacred, she wore it proudly.
高みに尊く輝くか。ならば欲することで焼かれるのだろうな。イカロスのように。
Greek stories we get to, I see.
良い。届かぬからこそ望むのです。私は輝きに焼かれ続けることを願いました。その証を終生の誇りに変えて。
Her stern looks could easily be categorized as beautiful, if half of it was so hideously scorched. In fact, it wasn't just her visage, and her chest, abdomen, arm, and leg. Her entire half was covered in burn scars, which was probably what she had meant by proof. Emerged of the fur and her repugnant. The battles she had braved were great enough to ravage her body beyond human standards, yet she was able to keep a perfect balance. She was truly worthy of the name Xantar, half man, half beast. Her mind too was host to both burning passion and icy cold-headedness, making it another great example of her dual nature.
だが K、それでは永劫に勝利できぬという結論にならぬかな。
仰せの通りにございます。私は追い続ける者として手に入らぬものをいつまでも欲し続けていたい。この身にとって勝利とはすなわち同型であり神。私はその忠実な信徒であり奴隷なのです。
つまり恋してるんだね、君は。
Abba didn't say with whom, but his teasing words were enough to make Dadukino's eyes undergo a complete change.
道ならぬ恋、届かない愛情、恐れ多くて手も触れられない光から、だけど逃げずに焼かれていたい。かわいいな、ザミエル。君のそういうところが僕は本当に大好きだよ。だけどごめんね。ズバリ言ったら君は弾けなくなっちゃうのかな。だったらお決まりの言葉に置き換えようか。中道。誠に感服したよ、ザミエル卿。
貴様。
Rebecca couldn't ignore what he had just said. Her eyebrows were beginning to bend into a menacing angle when...
もうよい。OK、シュライバー。
Irae had controlled her anger by making Abba behave. Eleanor might have had a short temper, but she wasn't shameless enough to display any rage before her lord. Thus, stopping Schreiber was the most reasonable course of action.
では K の勝利を語ってみろ。走り抜けた後のものとは？
そうですね。
Schreiber grinned without displaying no reverence to his art. He only folded his broken bows and amiably squinted his bloodshot eye.
僕は何でもやってから考えるんですよ。
Yeah. Kill first, contemplate later. That was the existential philosophy that birthed his beast. Weirdo. People objects, phenomena, enjoyment, necessity. All the mechanisms to help you understand the circumstances fall far behind this murderous intent. Wolfgang Schreiber was akin to an insect acting on instincts, or a machine following its programming. Both victory and defeat were only results that came after.
だから足跡ですよ、僕にとっては。まあ、振り返っても負けたことなんて一回しかないですけどね。そしてそれは二度とない。なぜなら僕はあなたに忠誠を誓っているからです、ハイドリヒ卿。
You don't know that. You don't know that. What if somehow Hydrish turns into, changes his mind and destroys you? That would mean another destruction of you. Kinda.
ただ、
Also, Karlkraft might be able to defeat you. Schreiber tilted his head and momentarily fell silent in pleased manner. Reinhardt knew full well what the Ashen Knight was so happy about.
今は少々事情が違うと。
Yeah, there's someone who can kick his ass.
こんなことは初めてなんです。
For the first time in his life, he had an opponent who he would kill not only because he met him, but because he felt like he had a reason to.
ちょっと順番がいつもと違う。いいですね、面白い。彼はどんな足跡になるのかな。まだ踏みつぶしていないのに、僕の目は未来を見ている。素敵だ。
His chest dropped like that of a maiden in love, while his long closed right eye socked heated up and began pulsating like a heart. Suddenly Schreiber got the idea to place his victim's eye to his own empty socket. After consuming his flesh, bones and soul, the Ashen boy would share the glorious sight of the new world's genesis with him.
それが僕の勝利です。
頂上。ならば K はそれでよい。
No, you mean... get destroyed. Thus, only one word was left. The shape of his desired victory was exceedingly plain and simple.
極点とは。そう言ったか、マキナよ。
The Iron Negro did not reply. He remained silent, calm, and immobile, as if to imply that any explanation was unnecessary. Well, because it was kinda. I mean, I believe that everyone understands. It's you.
たどり着いた先。その瞬間をもって完成すると。K にとっての勝利はそれか？
Yes, it is.
なるほど。確かにそうだろう。古今物語というものは、その多くが幸せをもって幕を閉じる。そこで完結するのなら、勝利とはすなわち終わり。ましてボルスングサガならば、主役の死がデウス・エクス・マキナだろう。しかしな。
Reinhardt formed an implicated smile and looked down on the Santi girl with childishness, critically, and buffeting the rest of his appearance. He had no intention of pressuring his subjects, yet for some reason his demeanor was chillingly ominous.
ご都合主義はもう一つある。時よ止まれ、お前は美しい。私と彼にとっての幕引きはそれだが。
The man of iron continued his silence as Reinhardt's menacing smile grew ever wilder.
結構。
Wider, not wilder,
実に
sorry.
結構だ。見せろよ、マキナ。カールの傑作同士、このグラズヘイムとは異なる瞬間。その波動が起きる刹那にのみ、K の望む安息がある。待ちわびたろう。存分に震えよ。それをもって、 聖餐杯の件、こう第一の褒美としよう。
Reinhardt stood up and began walking away from his throne. His imperial guard lined up right behind him, all of them followed by an army of millions. It was the Legion meant to consume all creation.
出陣。
Battle cries echoed around the castle and made it shake with joy. Seek Hail Victoria! The time had come to fulfill the promise. The rite would mark their victory over the chains of foreknowledge.
K の生誕日をことほご。いささか早いが、今言っておく。次に会うのは、すべてが終わった後のことだ。
Rhea was taking the castle and began melting into it. As both its princess and sacrifice, Reinhardt's blessing didn't get a single word out of her. The girl felt like he could pulverize her by a word alone. For one with a standard physical body, the first impression of Reinhardt went far beyond any reason. If the universe was a living creature, no mortal man could know its vastness or workings, and the situation here was similar. The panic made her skin crawl and her teeth chatter loudly. His terrifying presence alone made Rhea feel like her soul was being crushed and recolored. Needless to say, she was fully aware that he had no intention of doing anything to her. Reinhardt was approaching the girl only because she stood before the door. If she were to close her eyes and sit down, they would leave before she realized it. However, she couldn't let herself do that. What? Rhea embraced herself to calm her shaking and was finally able to say something the moment he came to stand right before her. She could feel the blood storm within her veins, screaming into her ears, telling her to make her escape. But it's not easy to do so, I guess. The voice she rang out was far too meager. Rhea looked down at her, the heavy gates creak open behind her, followed by the march of the Legion. Follow the Legion, if you can. Did she fail? Right when she was beginning to be disappointed in herself.
何かな?
That sudden voice made her reflexively look up. The man of gold was standing before her, close enough for her to almost feel his breath. That was the first time she saw Reinhardt Heydrich's face. Calling him unmatched in beauty would seem stale. He obviously had no flaws in his facial structure, and the light he adorned was practically seeping out of his visage. It was actually the same as Trifas, the divine Weasel's face, one she knew well and was thoroughly used to. The reason she saw him as someone else entirely was the critical difference in their souls. The person before her was Reinhardt Heydrich, the man who was her...
何かと言ったのだが、どうしたね?
A bit, yes. Albedo, Nigredo, Rubedo were all gone, leaving Reinhardt Heydrich alone in the throne room. He let all his subordinates go outside while he answered Rhea's questions.
問いがあるなら聞こう。ミコよ。
Divine? The word... Now that I think about it, if Rhea is actually part... I mean, she doesn't... Maybe she does realize, but... If she's a part of the Obsidian Round Table... Why doesn't she have an Nerve? Aside from, well, basically being that sacrifice, right? But I don't think that's it. I mean... Why doesn't she have any powers? The word made something heavy fall within her. She was still afraid. The fear was far too great to be removed so easily. Rhea was about to ask him a question, but she didn't really want to do it, or know the answer. However, she had been far too many sinners with any sequence by her powerlessness born from ignorance. If she had the knowledge or at least strived to gain it, the current situation could have been entirely different. Well, we don't know that. Maybe it wouldn't be any different. You never can predict it. But maybe it would. That's the problem with it. Once in a state of indignation, she asked a certain someone about when the time for regret would come. Doubtful that it ever would. But alas, it did.
いえ、イザークの父はあなたですか？ハイドリヒ教。
Yes, I am not. I don't know. A doubt held by all Obsidian are table knights. Yet skated by none. The truth standing protected by Lisa Brenner's silence. Rara was the first to gather the metal to ask him.
答えてください。
Rara knew exactly what he would say to her, and she wouldn't even begin to believe him if he said otherwise. After all, the gold before her was far too much like the Isaac she saw in her dream. Both of them were all-consuming souls. Their hunger, like the event horizon of the black hole, was the greatest proof.
あなたみたいな人が何のつながりもなく二人も存在するはずがない。
How do you know that? That could have been the reason why Lisa was so afraid. The thing that spawned from her womb was far too much like a devil. Mingling with the bloodline was her sin, and Rhea, as a sacrifice, was her punishment. That could have been her way of trying to redeem herself.
本当のことを教えてください。私は誰で何なのか。
Without knowing that, she could neither face nor overcome her impending fear. In response to her earnest shout, Reinhardt placed his hand on her chin and gracefully made her look up at him. Declaring golden gander made Rara's entire body go numb with nausea.
ウイコだ、テレジア。確かにイザークの面影がある。だが、あれの父が誰かなど、私は知らんよ。
Say what? Rara, it seemed like he was talking the easy way out. Isaac was the bastard child of a woman who mingled with numerous men. Thus it was easy for him to avoid it all by shifting the blame.
心外だな。私は女子供に責任を果たさぬような男ではない。下世話な話だが、言葉の機微がわからぬほど子供でもなかろう。もう一度言う。知らん。
じゃあ。
Then what? Did he not know, or did he simply forget? Why was he able to deny it so ardently? Could he truly not feel it? With Rara at a complete loss for words, Reinhardt chuckled to himself.
しかし、そうなると不思議だな。今まで考えたこともなかったが、一体あれの親は誰なのだろう。
And before it was craft. Reinhardt failed to realize that the very lack of his consideration was a ridiculous abnormality. He just couldn't care about it. The subject was outside his interest and even line of sight.
カールか？いや違うだろう。
That's true. He
彼
couldn't
は
be.
女に対して誠実だ。というより、その手の機能があるとは思えぬ。
Oh, I think I might have an idea. How all of that happened. And I only have that idea because I've seen all the SCGs of the game. Even the ones that are not on Steam, so they're on the older version, available only in Japan. And yeah, I know who might be the father.
では、
If
少
that's...
し夢のある推理をしてみようか。そもそも、父親などいなかった。
If the ritual that I think about right now goes the way it was in the pictures, then if it was also used before as well, then I think I might know.
マリアの子に父などおるまい。
Yeah, right. He ran his slender fingertips across Rhea's chin, cheek and hair, gently caressing her in a torturous manner. The fact that she managed to remain silent was quite the odd miracle. The destructive chills and pleasure permeating her body nearly made her lose consciousness.
用向きはそれだけか？ならば、もう行かせてもらうぞ。時間はこの先、無限にある。続きは全てが終わった後に、好きなだけ語り合えばいいだろう。何も恐れることはない。ただあり方が変わるだけだ。
Eh? The environments and bodily structures of aquatic and land-dwelling life were different, yet much less obvious. Repainting the cosmos would only cause the inhabitants to shrink into another law while keeping them perfectly alive. One and all would become angry and living within the Glatzheim. Rhea, of course, was the exception. Everything she knew would mount to his heaven.
善は子、子は善。意識の海から流れ出す共通の常識が改ざんされる。と言ってもわからぬかな。許せよ。私もまたカールと同じく砕いた講義を得てとしない。
Kinda sounds like one for all, which is actually all for one. Yeah.
次回にはもういくらか理解に安い説明ができるように努力しよう。
Speaking of one for all, and that is actually all for one, I'm not much of a fan of the anime, and not much of a fan of the main character. I mean, he claimed to want to be the top hero, but he never really trained despite not having a quirk, right? So, you know, I mean, I bet it's not shown at all, but I bet there are people with no quirks that, even though they kind of don't have quirks, still try to, in some way, be able to protect people around the world and so on. In case you don't know, I'm talking about Kuno Hero Academia here. And yet, what our main character, Midoriya, did was not really trained at all. I mean, if you look at it, he was only, you know, admiring what the current top hero does. And it annoys me, to be honest, that he's never really done everything before acquiring the power to actually be that hero. It's really annoying. I guess that's the main reason why I don't really enjoy the show as much as others do.
では
It's like 3 out of 5 in my eyes. Reinhardt passed Rhea and walked towards the gate. The question was an act of great courage for the girl, yet she came out without an answer. Was the result satisfactory? Absolutely not.
待って。
Yeah! She didn't allow you to go! Tusra stopped him once more. For it seemed otherwise, she was not composed yet. The girl had a feeling that she'd never be able to keep her presence of mind when facing him, no matter how many times they interacted. Reinhardt's existence wasn't one to allow any bluffs. Before him all were equal to once, and none were able to let their shame bring them to claim otherwise, and my dog is right now trying to bite my chair. Actually, he's doing that. Rhea had to know her limits and find what she could do within them. Upon further thought, she realized that it was exactly how the priest operated. Even though he failed, the method kept him facing the man before her for a whole 60 years. Using it for reference was perfectly reasonable. It was no doubt an effective frame of mind to take when interacting with Reinhardt Heydrich. Fully aware of the possible absurdity of the action, she silently begged the priest to give her strength.
私の
As if her plea was heard, Rhea spoke in a highly natural tone.
私の勝利は効かないのですか？
Oh, nice. Months ago, he gave that question to the battalion commanders. Why was he asking her as well? So Reinhardt stopped his march, he didn't reply. Did he lack interest? Did he fail to care? Or perhaps he knew it would be a problem for him.
私が欲しいと思うものはあなたと相入れません。ハイドリヒ教。
For she was akin to an aunt when compared to Reinhardt, she still defied him.
あなたは一人だ。
Unlike her.
あなたは誰よりも弱い人です。
Oh, well... Reinhardt was but an insatiable wolf that strayed from the pack by accident. He could neither mingle with nor become sheep, and leading a solitary life was equally impossible to him. And then to be like Rose, he chose to change everyone else. If that wasn't a sign of weakness, nothing was. Reinhard Heydrich was essentially a man who couldn't bear a second of loneliness. Hegemony, a grand word, indeed. Conquest, truly a powerful idea. However, in reality they were only parts of the incomplete nature of man and to breathe without spreading their vision. Painting the world in his colors because he couldn't achieve anything hand-in-hand with someone else was nothing but childish selfishness. Some could agree that being unlike anyone else was no sin and consider him a tragic character, but...
海に落ちた宝石にはなれないんですね。
Whoa. He was a drop of ink, one so thick and dense it could color the sea's hull.
溶けるだなんて。本当の黄金ならそんなことはありません。否定するなら、あなたにとって私たちが共有する意識の海は、身を浸すことも耐えられない毒だったということでしょう。
Reinhard felt certain that Heydrich wasn't unbeatable.
かわいそうな人。
Powerless and lonely.
よくさえずる。
Ink spills her words he left, not with ridicule but self-derision.
さかしいな。そして甘美な歌声だ。私もカールも確かにくだらん男だよ。ああ、実に良い。胸にしみる。うい女からの憐憫ほど男を震わせるものはない。最高の激励。感謝に耐えぬよ。
Can you stop biting the chair, baby? I'd appreciate that, you know. Yeah, I will. I would.
K の勝利は
決まっています。
A simple one. It's what she said. Her answer had no station, after all it was a promise.
私はまた、みんなと会いたい。
Nice!
あなたにとっては、くだらないものでしょう。だけど、私には。
The irreplaceable memory of her sunshine. It was the only thing she wished for her birthday. She wanted to return to those days at least one more time. The girl would be fine if it was but a dream.
ではそう望んでみるがよかろうよ。
It's going to happen. The man of gold then distanced himself from there, and once again marched to the throne room.
会えばいいし合わせてやろう。だがその結果を独占し城の誰にも渡せぬというのなら黙ってはおらぬ者が一人いる。イザークが何というか見ものだよ。
Say what? His unexpected words nearly made her turn around.
その願い譲れぬというならまずはあれと会うがいい。だがある意味黒煙卓で最も人ならざる者は彼であるという事実を忘れぬことだ。怖いぞイザークは。 K の価値観に照らせば直視できまい。
Reinhard grinned in an implicative manner and described the first only king as the most insane being among them.
なぜなら私でさえ母はいたがあれはそれにすら恐れられた異物だ。その事実自体は珍しくない。堕胎、虐待、子殺し、捨て子、今も昔も一定数存在するものだろう。
True. Unfortunately.
だが私はそれこそが最高純度の歪みであろうと考える。生来愛を否定されたバスタルト。
Surrounded by the creak of an iron door, he curtly voiced his final words to her.
その上愛憎に狂う飢餓は常軌を逸する。検討を奪ろう。ああ実に楽しみだ。
Two Sora was left alone. His uncle and grandfather was deep within. Eleanor said this soul was left as the core of the devil's castle. He was surely the person she had to face. Suddenly her lips moved on her own.
私は、違う。
Definitely not. He was a constantly crying demon spawn who searched for someone to love him, an all-consuming bastard child who sought someone to embrace him. Rhea was certain she would never become like him. After all, she knew of things he didn't. Things such as the dearest of friends, people who were waiting for her, and the place where she belonged.
だから、みんなを連れて行かないで。
For she would go there herself. Rhea gathered her resolve and began walking towards the throne. And we will see.
さあ、では始めようか。
Yeah, Schreiber, shove that finger up your ass! Reinhardt looked down from the frame of the castle gates and began giving his orders. His guests were already waiting him on the tower farm below the imperial plane he dominated from. Splendid and dear beings, wife, fleeting resolve deserving all of his possible blessings.
ケイラに勝利を。
He spoke to his retinue, permitting them to praise the nativity.
おのおの。苦しい上を存分に満た
I
す。
wonder where is Carl.
御意仰せのままに。
飽き果てるまで欲するまま。
ここに聖戦の終わりを。
Again, it's not holy.
ジーク入る。
They simultaneously leaped into the air. The hay they stood at surpassed 300 meters. To any normal human being, their jump was nothing but a dive into the arms of death at the mercy of gravity. However, it went without saying that they were far outside the yoke of normality. That three almost ridiculed their university gravitational acceleration by falling at their own paces. 9.81, right? Was the thing. The fastest one was Schreiber. Leaving behind his proud ray, he fell towards the ground with a bursting cackle, the speed of a bullet, and the glittering eye of a murderer. Machina was the only one who fell as gravity intended. Firmly aligned, he stayed immobile with heaviness 4 feet for a hunk of iron than a person. One might say that his fall was the most abnormal of the three. The somber night bothered neither to accelerate or decelerate, and even while exposed to the high-speed gale, he was able to stand still as if there was a platform below his feet. His balance and posture control stood testament to a downright prowess in martial arts. Eleanor, on the other hand, was astonishingly honest about hers. Sorcerer's powers. The flames embracing her body controlled the airflow, letting her gently float and descend downwards. The wind itself seemed to avoid her, failing to make her crimson locks sway even a little bit. As one fully aware that she was a supernatural being, the woman, instead of boasting about her abilities, displayed the arrogance of one who could use her powers as easily as breathing. Even the way she smoked her fiber tobacco was filled with majesty and plastic fit for nobility. Full of individuality, the entrance of the opening performers left no room for criticism. I think I would go as Machina, like him. Let the gravity do its work. For indeed, they were the opening performers.
美しい。
Say what? Looking below at the world far below his feet, Reinhardt walked downwards. As if to praise his kingly march, a luxurious staircase began building itself, connecting the gates of the castle and the top of the tower. Like his fortress, every stair was made of corpses. Thousands of dead were under his every step, but he didn't feel the least bit disturbed by it. For that was his nature as man, the crystallization of the life he had led. He was the lord of the dead, taking the corpses and ruins he chanced upon during his solitary march. To Reinhardt Heinrich, others were but... I think it should be were without the NH. But dust for him to break, destroy and consume.
ああ。故に弱者か。
Harry recalled what the blindingly brave girl told him. The man was able to mingle with or become a sheep, nor did he have the gem-like shine and majesty of a new creature. He was but a drop of ink polluting the ocean.
なるほど。なるほど、確かに。
Guess so. He found it comical and police not enough to make him want to laugh. Reinhardt was soldier independent of power. No matter if the person was a private or the front lines, or a prominent field marshal, they both were army people, nothing but warmongers and murderers. With that in mind, the only beauty there was strength. Minerals had to be tougher. Creatures had to be beastlier. Plants had to be less like flowers and more like trees. In short, he had to cherish the physical strength that made objects autonomous and harder to overwhelm. That was how he preferred to exist, and it was exactly what made him weak. Reinhardt was an incomplete being unable to breathe without overwhelming something.
だが私はそれしか知らん。故に食い尽くしてやろう。こと。
Till he chanced upon something he had yet to ravage. Beyond it all, he would become complete and replace the foreknowledge with his own law, absolute and everlasting. To him, the earth below was like a bright waiting for him to take her. It shone with brilliance great enough to grant him a feeling of lust. Everything was exactly as he wanted it to be.
未だ我が身はゲットのうちにあれと。
The feeling he was all too familiar with could not even displease him as it continued its torture. He earnestly saw the day he would break out of it, and the present moment before him was the dawn of the desire's fulfillment.
今宵約束を果たそう。
At the bottom of the cadaver staircase, Reinhardt let his mouth flutter and lowered his voice as he addressed those facing him.
参れ小さき者どもよ。ケイラの奮闘間に耐えぬ。
He held back his Imperial Guard and gracefully beckoned the three challengers. First, he would destroy one of them to open the swastika. With that, he would be reborn as Skark's childhood, sublime from sacrifice to rival.
どうした？もう始まっているぞ。
For he took the shape of single man, he was a legion of millions. Even about his 8 careers at the sign or the final swastika open, it remained painfully evident who was outnumbered. However,
これが最後の好機と思うわ。
it was the only moment when they could defeat Reinhardt. The battle had begun below the gates of the soaring devil's castle. The scene went by her mind like a flash. Yusa, Fuji, and for reasons she wasn't aware of, Sakurai, they cooperated and gave their all to struggle against a mighty adversary. For it was 3 versus 1, they had no chance of winning. Probably.